So today, we're going to dive into one of humanity's oldest questions, and we'll be looking at it through the lens of the Qur'an, specifically Surah Maryam. We're going to map out the journey of the afterlife, step by step, right from the moment of death all the way to this final, incredible gathering where absolutely no one gets left behind. I mean, this has to be one of the biggest questions we all ask, right? What happens after we die? Is that it? Game over? Or is it just the start of something new? Well, Islamic theology actually gives us a really detailed roadmap for this, a journey that's broken down into stages, and it all kicks off the second our life here ends. And this verse from the Quran, wow, it just sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about. And we will surely gather them so not one of them is left behind. It's talking about this total, unavoidable assembly. The theological term for it is hashd, the gathering. And here's the kicker. It's not just some event way off in the future. The sources tell us it's a process that actually starts the very instant the soul leaves the body. All right, so let's get into it. The soul's first gathering, a journey begins. To really get our heads around this, the source material starts by showing us two totally different ways of looking at death itself. It helps set up the whole worldview we're digging into. So on one side, you've got the materialist view. Pretty straightforward, right? Death is the end, the body stops, consciousness is gone, that's all she wrote. But then the Qur'anic perspective flips that idea completely on its head. It says death isn't an ending at all. It's more like a transition. It's that exact moment when the soul, the real you, leaves its physical body behind. And that idea is really the core of Hashr, the gathering. It's this concept of a divine assembly of every single thing that was ever created, all brought together for a final judgment. But the really fascinating part, the key takeaway from the scholarship, is that this isn't a one-and-done event. It happens in phases, one after the other. The source text has this amazing analogy to make this super clear. It's so simple, but it works perfectly. Think of it like this. Your soul is the person, and your body is just the shirt they're wearing. When you die, the person just takes off the shirt. The person, the soul, is still there, totally intact. It's just the shirt, the body, that gets left behind. And this moment, this separation, is what's called the first gathering. The soul is gathered up, but the body stays here. The soul goes to this, it's an intermediary realm called the barzakh. You can think of it as a state or a place, kind of like a waiting room between our life here and the final resurrection. And the soul is conscious there, just waiting, while the body is, back on Earth. It's a temporary thing, but how long it lasts, only God knows. Okay, so that leads us right into the next phase. And honestly, this is maybe the most mind-blowing part of the whole process. The second gathering, the resurrection of the body. This is when the soul's time in that waiting room, the barzakh, comes to an end. Now, it's really important to get this. These details we're talking about, they're not just made-up stories or folklore. They come from centuries of deep, serious Islamic scholarship. Scholars who have spent their lives picking apart every single word of the Quranic verses. It's a whole theological framework built on this kind of meticulous analysis, this exegesis. So what this framework tells us is that on that final day of gathering, the physical body gets brought back. No matter what happened to it, how long it's been, it gets reformed, resurrected, and then boom, reunited with its original soul. And think about what that means philosophically. It's saying that you are both your body and your soul together. So the final judgment, the accountability, it's for the complete person, the one who actually lived and did things in the world. Of course, the big question is, how is that even possible? And this verse tackles that head-on. The argument in the Quran is actually pretty simple. It's like, look, if God had the power to create the entire universe out of absolutely nothing, then recreating a body from its basic elements, that's not a problem. All it takes is the command be, and it happens. So picture this. The soul and the body are back together. Now, the stage is set for the main event, the Great Assembly. We're talking about something on a scale that's just hard to even imagine, where every single being is brought forward. So who exactly is at this gathering? Is it just people? Nope. It's all of humanity. Everyone, from the very first person to the very last. But it gets even bigger. The sources say it also includes the jinn, those spirits made from smokeless fire, and the shayateen, the devils. And get this, even every single living creature that ever was. When they say the gathering is absolute, they mean absolute. And the scene that's described is just incredible.
It's not a chaotic mob. It's all of creation. Every single one of these beings presented before God, and they're arranged in perfect, silent rows. Total order, total silence. Just this huge, humbling sense of waiting. Everyone waiting for what happens next.
And that brings us to the final, incredibly dramatic scene from this part of Surah Maryam. It's a final passage, a final test that every single being has to go through.
The Qur'an paints this unbelievably intense picture. Everyone, all of creation, is brought right up to the edge of hellfire. And in that moment, faced with that ultimate reality and divine power, every single being, it says, falls to their knees.
Okay, so when you hear that, an obvious question pops into your head, right? Wait a minute. Does that mean everyone is condemned? Is everyone going to hell? Is it some kind of universal punishment? Well, the text is very, very clear on this.
And the answer is a definite no. This whole event is really the ultimate sorting hat, if you will. For those who are judged as wicked, yeah, arriving at hell is them reaching their final destination. But for the righteous, it's just a passage. They're brought there, they see it, but then they're saved from it and move on to their reward. It's the final, decisive separation. So in the end, we're left with this incredible duality, aren't we? The day of judgment, is it a moment of ultimate clarity and justice, or is it a moment of absolute terror? And the answer is, it's both. It all depends on who you are. The one thing that's for sure is that it's the final reckoning, where that promise is kept. Not a single one will be left behind.